Okay, so I think we'll get underway. So again, a very warm welcome to you all this afternoon. Thank you for joining us and welcome to how technology can help people with sight loss. My name is Chris Grant from AbilityNet. I'm the Community Relationship Officer for the north of the UK. A little bit of a self-description, wearing a black top with a black jacket, wearing glasses, brown hair, 29. And I'll be running you through today's session. So just a few bits of housekeeping to go through this afternoon. With live captions provided by Denise from My Clear Text. You can turn on the captions using the CC option on the control panel, and additional captions are available via streamtext.net. We'll pop a link in the chat, perhaps to the Q&A section for that very shortly. Slides are available at slideshare.net/AbilityNet and also on our website at abilitynet.org.uk/site-loss-webinar. If you have any technical questions and you need to leave early, don't worry at all. You'll receive an email in a couple of days' time with the recording, the transcripts and the slides. And depending on how you joined the webinar, you'll find a Q&A section, a window. And if you want to ask any of the panel today a question, do drop those then in the Q&A area for us to address. And we'll do that also after today in this follow-up blog on our website, again at abilitynet.org.uk. A reminder, we've disabled the chat features. We discovered it can cause problems for some people using screen readers. And we'll also have a feedback survey you'll be directed to at the end, which invites you to tell us about any future topics you would like us to cover in the webinars. So for those who aren't yet familiar with AbilityNet, we support people of any age living with any disability or impairment to use technology to achieve their goals at home, at work, and in education. And we do this by providing specialist advice, services, and digital accessibility testing, along with training, workplace inclusion consultancy, and free information resources like this webinar today. And I'll share a little bit more about our services at the end of the webinar. So without further ado, let's introduce you to today's speakers. I'm going to come to each of them separately. So Kartik from Envision, let's come to you first.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kartik. I am the co-founder and chief technology officer at Envision. I am a male with beard and wearing a t-shirt which basically which has the Envision logo on it. I also am sitting against a virtual background with dots on it. It's a dot pattern, black background. So it's a little bit about me.
Great, thank you, Kartik. Devinder.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Devinder, Technology for Life Coordinator, RNIB. Bit description about me, Indian descent. I've got tan skin. I've got a short fade hair with a beard with a bit of wisdom grays coming through. And I'm wearing a black polo. On the top left is RNIB as an emblem.
Great. Thank you very much, Devinder. Adi Latif, our Senior Accessibility and Usability Consultant here at AbilityNet, can't be with us this afternoon. He's recorded a video which we'll show you shortly. And Alex.
Hi everybody. My name is Alex Barker. I'm the disability consultant at AbilityNet. A bit about me: I'm wearing glasses, got very short hair, and I'm wearing a yellow t-shirt, and I'm 50 years old.
Great, thank you, Alex. Just also to give a wee plug and a thank you, we've got Kelly and Louise from our marketing team supporting today. So thank you, folks, and to Donna Baker-Smith, my fellow colleague in community. So thank you very much for your input today. So we're going to go to a poll. We love a poll. We're going to start with this one with a question. Do you or the person you care for currently use any apps or wearables to help with sight loss? So we have 4 options. Yes, I use them regularly. Yes, some, but I would like to use more. Not yet, but I am keen to find out more about which options will help. And no, I don't plan to use them. So let's launch the poll, please. And we'll give a minute or two for you to answer the poll for us. I say, depending on how you've joined the webinar, you may find you can't see the poll, but you can respond in the Q&A panel. So we'll give it just under a minute.
Chris, should we give those options one more time while people are...
I think let's do that.
Yeah.
100%. So do you or the person you care for currently use any apps or wearables to help with sight loss? So yes, I use them regularly. Yes, some, but I would like to use more. Not yet, but I am keen to find out more about which options will help. And no, I don't plan to use them. So I think we will say give it another couple of 10 or 15 more seconds and we'll close the poll. So if you can't use the poll, please put your answer in the Q&A. Okay, can we close the poll on that? For some reason, the poll results haven't shown up. Ah, there we are. They have now, technology. So 9% of today's participants saying yes, I use them regularly. 16% say yes, some, but I would like to use more. This number is quite large. 59% saying not yet, but I am keen to find out more about which options will help. That number is really all about today, and hopefully that will help you. And 16% say no, I don't plan to use them. Again, it would be quite interesting to find out why people don't plan to use them around that technology. Okay, so thank you very much for participating in that poll. So that's all from me for now. And I'm going to hand across to Alex Barker to start today's webinar. Thank you, Alex.
Thanks, Chris. So a while ago, I was asked to think a topic, and one of the things that's always really interested me is what technology can be used to help people who are blind and want to use apps on their phone. What technology is available for people who also want to use wearables? So, next slide, please. So, first of all, I think it's quite important to try and work out what the definition of an app is. And the definition of an app from the Cambridge English Dictionary is, it's an abbreviation for application, a computer program or piece of software designed for a particular purpose that you can download onto a mobile phone or other mobile device. So, for example, you might have a photography app or a social media app. Next slide, please. But what is wearable technology? So wearable technology is defined, by this website at least, is a small computer or advanced electronic device that is worn or carried on the body. So, for example, most of the time I've got my Apple Watch on. It's just over there charging at the moment. That is a piece of wearable technology. Next slide, please. So, if you're blind or partially sighted, there are all sorts of apps that you can go for. So I just randomly selected some. So we've got various screenshots from left to right. So on the left, we've got a screenshot of seeing AI. In the middle, we've got a screenshot of an app called Be My Eyes. And on the right-hand side, we've got an app for navigational purposes called Blind Square. Next slide, please. So let's consider wearables and what do they do? So wearables, specifically glasses, can do many things. They can give you turn-by-turn navigation advice. You can access emails, texts on the glasses, and you can listen to music. If you are blind or partially sighted, this technology will enable you to identify people and places. So I just want to be clear here. So I've got a pair of glasses. I can see through them. For people who are blind and partially sighted users, they just get audio feedback from the wearables, and from the point of everybody else, it doesn't look like you are using anything different. You've just got some quite nice funky glasses on. Next slide, please. So here we've got some examples of wearable technology, and so on the left there's an actual image of a middle-aged man wearing the Envision technology, and we've got two screenshots of pairs of black glasses, and then at the bottom we've got a screen or a picture of a pair of white wearable glasses. And I just went on to Google and did a search for wearable technology for blind people, and this is what I found out. And of course, there's much more technology than that, but I just wanted to give you 4 examples. Next slide, please. We are now going to see a video of wearables in action, and this is the website. This is directly from Envision. So if we could press play, that would be great.
Dictionary defines it as independence. The dictionary defines it as the ability to live your life without being helped or influenced by others.
It could also mean the ability to discover a whole new recipe.
Chicken and pumpkin soup.
Soup ingredients.
It could also mean submitting an assignment just before the deadline.
It could be sharing a laugh with a colleague near the coffee machine.
Looks like Alex from finance.
To step out for some fresh air and roam the streets without any worry.
Looks like a body of water running through a grassy field.
Or just managing to catch that train during rush hour.
1541, Sprinter, Amsterdam Central, via Mariahof.
To be able to sort and read my own letter.
Credit card statement, Post Box 289.
To be able to pop quickly into my favorite local store.
Mango chutney.
It is to know that when I get stuck, I have people to call upon.
Hey, yes, and where are you?
Hey there, there seems to be a roadblock here. Can you help me out?
I can help you out. Do you want to use like a road map or something?
Okay, wait, I'll share my location.
All hands meeting. Tulip 3 meeting room.
Tulip 3.
To be surrounded by great people and be surprised by their love.
Looks like a birthday cake with lit candles.
To cook my favorite meal that my lovely family can't get enough of.
To push my physical limits. To move, to jump, to punch, and to feel alive.
I wish you the happiest year ahead.
To be me. To be Parham Dustar.
To be me, to be Jesse Wienholz.
To be me, to be Joy Barry.
Introducing Envision glasses. the new AI-powered smart glasses by Envision, empowering the blind and visually impaired to be more independent. Available for order now.
Great, fantastic. So we're going to cross to my colleague now, Adi. So Adi has recorded a video for us about Adi's awesome apps. So without further ado, let's hand across to that video, please.
Hello, I'm Adi Latif, and I'm going to be sharing with you some of my top favorite blindness related apps. So these are apps I use usually on a day-to-day basis that help me get through whatever I am doing. So firstly, when I'm out and about, I use an app called Soundscape. So this is an app, it's free, it's made by Microsoft, and it really helps me to understand my surroundings. It's full of lots of features, so I won't go through all of them, but I'll just swipe through some of the options so you can get to hear what's mentioned in the app.
Choose destination. Search field. Places nearby. Button. Double tap to explore nearby restaurants, public transport and more. Markers and routes. Button. Double tap to select or edit markers you have saved. Current location. Button. Double tap to preview, mark, or share your current location with a friend.
So already we've got lots of different options there. I can see the different places of interest around me. I can mark routes, so I can select a place and it can set this thing called an audio beacon, so it will start tapping in that direction. I'll get the audio that will direct me towards that place, so that's pretty cool. And if I continue,
hear my surroundings, heading. My location, button. Double tap to hear about your current location. Around me, button. Double tap to hear about places in the 4 quadrants around you.
So this will tell me stuff that's in front of me and behind me, so I've got a full idea of everything around me.
Ahead of me, button. Double tap to hear about places in front of you. Nearby markers, button. Double tap to hear about nearby places that you have marked.
So you can mark things as what your favourites or things you want to go to in the future, and it can then have them saved for you. It's a really, really useful app. I'm just going to tap one of the options. I'm going to find out what's in front of me.
Ahead of me, button. Ahead of me.
Elm Village about 100 meters. Booker, 275 meters. Urbanest Street Pancras, 305 meters. Onyx Building, 385 meters. Co-op Food, 390 meters.
And it also uses directional audio, so if I've got headphones on, or if I've got earphones in my ear, those announcements you heard, you would hear them from the direction that the place is at. So if Co-op Foods is diagonally in front of me to the right, that's what I would hear in the audio, that the audio announcement will be coming from that direction. So it's really cool in that sense. So the second app I'm going to be looking at now is called Ariadne GPS, and I use this app when I'm doing sports. So if I'm on the back of a tandem bicycle, or if I'm skiing and I want to know how fast I'm going, I want to know my altitude, things like that, this app is really, really useful. It also tells you what street you're on as well, so I'm going to load that one up now.
App switcher, Soundscape, Ariadne GPS, act. Map, legal, link.
Okay, so I'm going to just swipe through some of the options on this app.
Where am I? Button. Start monitoring. Button. Add to favorites. Button.
So start monitoring, it starts to monitor your location and your activity.
Nearest favorite, home, 43 feet, at 5 o'clock GPS. Direction of movement 315 degrees northwest. Direct 112 degrees east. Speed 1.1 miles per hour.
Wow, I'm sitting down. So it gives you all this information. It's really, really useful.
Location accuracy 69, altitude 97 feet above sea level. Vertical
So
accuracy.
usually, if I'm on the back of my tandem, I've got my headphones in one ear, and I'm able to gauge the speed we're going at, and I know what streets we're on. So it's really, really useful for that. Sometimes I combine this one with Soundscape. So Soundscape's announcing the streets and the points of interest, and Ariadne's GPS app is telling me my speed. So it's pretty useful. Okay, the next app I use a lot is an app called Aira. So Aira is a paid service, and it connects me to an agent who has access to my phone camera. They also have access to my GPS system. So if I'm out and about on a street looking for, say, the nearest bus stop or the nearest cafe, an Aira agent will be able to guide me and give me directions. So they're very well trained and they're very good at guiding you. Aira is also useful in the workplace. So if I'm working and I'm trying to format a document, or I've created a presentation and I don't know if it looks great, I can call Aira up and they can connect to my computer. They can connect into my laptop and they can help me format documents and tell me how things are looking, or they can help me do research when I'm trying to find information and say the internet is not very accessible, or those particular websites aren't very accessible. So Aira is a very good service, but it is a paid service. Another time I might use Aira is if I'm in a train station or in an airport and I can't find the assistance desk. I'll use Aira and they will help me get to the right place. So the next app we're looking at here is Be My Eyes. So this is very similar to Aira, but this is a free service. So when I use Be My Eyes, I can be connected to a volunteer who has access to the camera on my phone. They don't have access to my GPS, but they just have access to the camera. So if I need something read out to me, if I'm cooking in the kitchen and I need some spice bottles read out to me, or if I'm walking through a park and I want the scene described to me, Be My Eyes is great. Or if I'm getting ready to go out to work or to a social event, I can connect to a volunteer and I can ask them, do I look okay? Then they can provide that kind of information. It's a really, really useful app, and I use this app a lot. It also has this other feature. It's called Specialized Help.
Call a volunteer. Browse Specialized Help button. In progress. Search. Favorites. Microsoft. Open.
So they have various categories here of help.
Assistive technology button. Blindness organizations button. Careers button. Personal health button. Technical.
So there's
button.
so many options here. So under technical, I could connect to, say, someone from Microsoft, and they would be able to log themselves into my computer and help me if I'm having some problems installing one of their apps, or if I'm struggling using any of their software. So it's really, really good for that. It's got an option here for
careers, blindness organized, assistive technology button.
Assistive technology.
Adaptation store, light, IC music selected, community, select, IC music help desk, adaptation store, lighthouse for the blind and info button. Assistive technology.
So there's the
heading.
various assistive technology organizations there that can help.
Back button. Back button. Blindness organization. Careers button. Personal health button. Clear blue. Open.
So if I go into
button.
personal health, there's an option here for clear blue. And
NHS test.
So if you're a blind person, female, and you've got a pregnancy test and you don't want anyone else to read it to you, you want your independence, then you can get through to people from Clear Blue, and someone can confidentially read you out the results for that. There's also an option here for
selected. NHS test and trace.
NHS test and trace. So they can help you to do your coronavirus test at home. So Be My Eyes is very versatile. It's got lots of different options. So definitely explore that. So the final app I'm going to share with you is called Talking Tuner. So if you're a musician or a wannabe musician like me, or just a hobbyist, this app is just amazing. So this will help you put your instrument into tune. It will tell you the note is too high or too low. So let's give this a bash. I've got a guitar here and I'm going to try and use this app.
50%. Note, E is 17 cents sharp.
So it's telling me note E is 17 cents sharp. Let's try the next note.
Note A is in tune.
Yay, note A is in tune. So I can go through all the strings on the guitar and it will provide me that feedback. So I hope you found that useful. My top list of blindness related apps. Thank you so much.
Thank you to Adi for that. And there you go. I learned something about Adi every day. I didn't even know he plays guitar. So thank you for recording that. So we're going to hand over to Kartik from Envision at this time now. So Kartik, over to you.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining the webinar. It's really exciting to be here today talking about Envision with all of you. So I don't have slides prepared, but I do have something really interesting to share with you guys. So let me first go ahead and give a little bit of an idea about what the Envision glasses are. Of course, you might have seen or heard the video that was played at the beginning. But essentially, Envision builds smart glasses, basically the Envision glasses that help people with a visual impairment to live more independently using artificial intelligence. So the glasses can help you read text from pretty much any surface in over 60 different languages, including handwritten text, can help you recognize faces of your friends and family, can even help you recognize your personal belongings or recognize cash and so on. So there's so many, so the glasses are basically a visual recognition tool with the idea of being able to recognize every single type of visual information that's in your surroundings. So let me go back, to the beginning of when we started Envision. So it was about 5 years ago, and ever since in the very beginning when Envision started, our main idea was to go ahead and put the Envision technology, all those different things that I spoke about, being able to read text, being able to recognize faces. Our main idea was to try and put that onto a wearable. I know I'm talking about the days before even Envision, became an actual company. Why did we want to put, artificial intelligence technology onto a wearable? Well, because, when we did our early research, we realized that the best form factor for any kind of visual recognition technology is when it is in the form of a wearable. What that means is that it's so much more easier to use your head to look at things rather than having to use your hands, because it's a much more natural movement to be able to move your head than to hold a phone in your hand and to move the phone around and take pictures, right? So that was what we initially wanted to build, like 5 years ago. But at that point in time, wearable technology wasn't as advanced as it is today. Right. Today, we have, smart glasses are slowly becoming more mainstream. There are companies out there that are working on smart glasses. In fact, the Envision glasses, the hardware for the Envision glasses comes from the Google Glass. Right. So what we did was we basically took the Envision app, which is what we launched back in 2017, and we adapted that to work, with wearables. And the early challenges that we faced were, if we found a pair of smart glasses that was really powerful, it wasn't, it didn't look good enough, or it was very stigmatizing, or it was very heavy. Or if we found a pair of glasses that looked good, that weren't as stigmatizing, then they weren't powerful enough. And in 2019, we came across the Google Glass, and we were able to partner with Google and then get their hardware, put our software on the Google Glass. That eventually became the Envision glasses. So we know from experience that using wearables, along with the kind of artificial intelligence technology that we have developed, makes the most amount of sense. So I'm going to show you how that actually, why that makes the most amount of sense, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and today scan a document using the Envision glasses and show you how easy and natural it is to be able to do that versus holding your phone and trying to scan a document with the Envision app, for example, right? So I have a document here in front of me. The document does contain text in multiple languages. And so normally when you think of trying to read a document, you would imagine being able to hold it in front of your face and then being able to see the visual information on the page and then read it out. That's basically how that's how documents are usually meant to be read, or even books for that matter, right? Any printed material for that matter is so much more natural to like hold it in your hand and then be able to scan it easily and then read it. So that's exactly what we did with the Envision glasses. So what I'm going to show you is this feature called Scan Text. And using Scan Text, what you would be able to do is first have the glasses tell you how to move the document so you have the entire document in frame. So you really take the guesswork out of having to take pictures, with the glasses. You just hold the document in front of you, and then the glasses guide you on how to move the document. And once the document is fully in frame, it goes ahead and captures the document automatically. And for the sake of this demonstration, what I've done is I've connected the glasses to a pair of Bluetooth speakers. In fact, there was a question that came up in the Q&A asking if the audio from the glasses is only audible to the person who's wearing it, or is it audible for everyone else who's also around you. So the thing is, it is of course only audible to you because the speaker on the glasses is located right next to your ear, so it's only audible to you most of the time. But you can also go ahead and pair these glasses to a Bluetooth speaker or a Bluetooth headphones like the AirPods, etc. So that's where the audio is going to come from. And then I'm going to go ahead and scan the document, and then I'll walk you through how that happened, right? So I'm just started the app, started the glasses right now. It's in the home screen. So I'm going to navigate to Scan Text and then take a picture.
Instant text. Scan text. Document up or your head down. Document up or your head down. Document right. Reader. Heading. Girl with a pearl earring. English. Girl with a pearl earring, an oil painting by Dutch Golden Age painter Johannes Vermeer, represents a young woman in a dark, shallow space. She wears a blue and gold turban, the titular pearl earring, and a gold jacket with a visible white collar beneath. Heading. Español. Mujer joven en un espacio oscuro y poco profundo. Lleva un home.
So the document that I had was about the girl with the pearl earring, which is a really, really popular painting here in the Netherlands. And like you see, what I did there was primarily hold the document somewhere in front of my face. The glasses were guiding me, and then as soon as the document was in frame, the glasses automatically took a picture. It also recognizes headings in documents as well. So it recognizes the fact that the girl with the pearl earring is actually a heading, and it also recognizes multiple languages automatically because the document does contain the same text in English, in Spanish, and in Japanese as well. So this shows how wearables or glasses are really a very easy form factor, a very easy way to go ahead and experience, something like OCR or other kinds of visual recognition technologies. Not just that, but smart glasses can be used for a lot more, right? Especially see, for example, within the Envision glasses, apart from all the AI, tech that we built on the glasses, we also built a video calling facility, right? I'm not able to show you a video calling demo of on the glasses right now, but you can definitely see one on YouTube or any review of the Envision glasses. You'll be able to see how the video calling works. So with the video calling, what happens is you can make a video call directly from the Envision glasses to a friend or a family member. And since you have your hands free, since you aren't really holding a phone in your hand and trying to point at things on a video call, you can just move your head around in any direction, up or down, and show people things from your perspective. very similar to how it works. If you're very similar, like just having the glasses on your face and being able to see that show that over a video call makes a huge difference. So it also is the case where, I strongly believe that smart glasses would become the future in assistive technology, simply because, it allows you to have a hands-free experience whenever you want to try out or hands-free experience of any of the technologies that you currently use on your smartphone. We're also building the Envision glasses as a platform. So our hope is that all the favorite apps that you currently use on your smartphone, and I don't want to give away too much at this point, but then, some of the apps that were shown by RD today would soon, come on the Envision glasses as well over the next, 3 to 4 months. So we're evolving the glasses to become a platform. So it's not just about you buying a pair of glasses that has Envision's technology, but it's like you buying something like a smartphone where you not only have Envision's technology on the glasses, but you also have some of your other favorite apps on the glasses as well. What else is coming up for smart glasses? I think a lot of better hardware in the future that's on the horizon will make the glasses more powerful in itself. Will enable us to build more technology that works entirely offline. For example, when we launched the Envision glasses in 2020, 80% of all the functionality on the glasses required an internet connection. But today, only 50% of all the functions on the glasses require an internet connection. In fact, some of the things I demonstrated to you right now work completely offline. You don't need an internet connection for all these things. And what we're hoping to do is, in the future, we're hoping to make sure that all of the advanced technology on the glasses can work 100% offline without having to without having to use the internet. And that is simply because smart glasses in themselves are going to get more powerful, and we're seeing new and more powerful smart glasses come on the horizon over the next couple of years. In short, I'm extremely excited about wearables, not because, we make the glasses, but I think we make the glasses only because we're excited about, wearable technology and how it can make the lives of people with a visual impairment a lot more easier and enable them to be more independent, simply because we're able to combine the ease of use that comes with smart glasses, that comes with having your hands free, at the same time combining advanced technology with it. I would love to answer any questions that you guys might have about the glasses later on. And you can also, go to our website and request a demo of the glasses too.
Thank you, Kartik. Sorry, I'd love to find out more, but we've got to keep to timings. So thank you for that, Kartik. Devinder from RNIB, let's hand across to yourself.
Cheers, Chris. Good afternoon, everyone. So my time this afternoon with you is more about putting all this together, the considerations, because I think what it is, there's a lot of the choice that all of us know about in terms of blind and partially sighted people, in terms of tech, but not everyone is aware. So first thing I'd say, that isn't it a great time that we live in, that we've got a choice, almost a buffet table of tech. To frame this conversation, the way I like to frame it for a lot of people is thinking about your life. People ask about what's the right tool, and the right tool is always the one that gives you the most value. So considerations first is to make sure, for example, when I think about the social model of disability, which if you're not aware of it, I'll give you a quick example. Somebody, let's say, for example, away from blind and partially sighted, is a wheelchair user. They navigate the world. And I'm walking, say, with my guide dog or my cane. They're next to me, navigating through their wheelchair. And at the end, we get to, say, a library, which we want to enhance our knowledge. But there's some stairs. It's at that point the individual is disabled. They don't have a disability. The situation is giving them the disability. So the solution, which is the way my brain always thinks, is problem and solution, is a ramp. Now, the ramp is a universal accessibility design. It allows people such as guide dog users, cane users, mothers with prams, wheelchair users, elderly, get where they want to be. And that's really what it's about, to get where you want to be. Now, you've heard a few different demonstrations, and you've heard Kartik talk, and you've heard Adi and Alex talk, and let's bring it all together. So when you consider this technology and the options, it's that same thing to think about. What is your objective? That's the first question, because as individuals on this call, you're going to be thinking to yourself, well, that's great. What is it I want to do? What is the barrier? just like that wheelchair example. The barrier was the stairs. What's the barrier you face? And if the barrier is, as the government is always saying to us, they want us to be digitally included. We know a lot of friends, family, information. That physical library has gone into the sky called the cloud these days. So we're constantly trying to advise people, how do you get involved in that arena? How are you going to be interacting with people? And what's the way you need, what do you need to consider? So, for example, if we take most of the technology you've probably heard two solutions. For the blind and partially sighted person, our ramp tends to be, for example, a screen reader, which you heard Adi and Kartik demonstrate when you heard the voice. But for low vision users, it's going to be screen magnification, visual changes such as high contrast, larger mouse, and all of these are your ramps and your analogy to say, right, if I'm struggling to read a bit of text, how do I adapt it? And it's not always about, I'm going to come to cost because I know it's a big consideration, but it's about how do we do it? But one of the big things that people aren't aware of is knowledge. So a consideration is of getting the device. How are you going to learn to use it? What's the support around you? Who will you contact? And that's where organizations like ourselves at RNIB, AbilityNet, and others, local partner organizations, we're here to support that choice. So with, for example, let's say a device at the moment, I'm thinking, I'm always about fundamentals. The first thing that most people aren't aware of is a smartphone, a tablet, a computer are completely usable. There is learning, but it can be around the situation. For example, if you're starting off with technology now, Chris mentioned about the stats, which were quite high actually. It's understanding, well, if your barrier is low vision, if it's dexterity, if it's hearing loss, there are solutions. There could be a hearing aid for hard of hearing, screen readers or magnification. Now, the fear or anxiety could be, how do I use that when my sight is getting poor? And there are ways we can do it with support guidance. So that's not the knowledge as a consideration, take the fear out, because there's so many examples that you watch with Adi, it's totally possible. So the first thing to do as a consideration is remove the fear, have an open mind, and know that the technology can meet your objectives. There's a whole plethora of tech out there, and Kartik's just given a fantastic demonstration of Envision glasses. Being neutral, I'd always have to mention that other options apply. You have Allcam, you have low vision solutions from Oxite, eSight, and even LiDAR sensors, pseudo bands, things like, and what they do is, depending on your objective, as Kartik highlighted, all this technology comes together to add value to your life. If it's GPS navigation, if it's his guitar, it could be me with an Indian instrument, a DJ, music, you name it, all parts of our lives, where the vision impairment or our barrier comes into, we're finding solutions. One of the other considerations, and this is a really big one for a lot of people, is finance. So when it comes to finance, people will say, well, what's the right option? Now, I again will say, I'm an advocate of commercial technology first. It's what your friends, family, peers, everyone else will be using, although adapted for our needs. But that way you've got a support bubble and structure around you. So whether they're smartphones or tablets for whichever company, wearables, Alex mentioned was an iPhone, there's other from Galaxy and other companies, Fitbit. These are common things you can pick up in retail. So consider, if you go for something specialist, bear in mind, it will come with specialist support, but the people next door, the individuals you do interact with may not know it, but it's all about you. So just bear that in mind as a consideration. It's not a barrier, it's just a consideration. So when we talk about smartphones, I'm thinking about some of the applications. Those free applications actually cost less for some people in the outset, whether it's Seeing AI, whether it's Google Lookout on Android, that's to read your letters. We've got talking book services on there, we've got all the apps. Principally, the keynote I would say to everybody from this discussion, just as top level, is all the applications, all the services which are free are fantastic. However, for people with dexterity issues, could be tremors, shaky hands, if there's additional considerations you have, just knowing that there's options such as wearables might be the next phase. And from a financial perspective, so your cost entry point to something that's commercially just off the shelf is lower. But where the specialist technology, such as what Kartik and other companies are producing, with those additional considerations and situations, is that it could be more bespoke. Prime example, I think Kartik would say, is there's technology such as NaviLens and other GPS when we talk around. And when we're navigating, I'm sure some of you will know, a visual sign can be quite difficult to find. And if you're relying on a smartphone or tablet with your, say, device in your hand, there's the risk and fear of loss and theft. And that's a real risk, that's fair enough. So in that situation, that's also where wearables or other solutions combined with the core technology of a smartphone or tablet, when they combine together, become that powerful recipe. So I think that's another consideration to think about. What's the core of your solution? And then what adds to your solution? And then gives you more tools to your toolkit. Because that's really what it's about. It's having as many tools in your toolkit to get through as many situations as you can get through. And I'm a big believer in that. In terms of financial support, one of the other areas that I think people, if you have a situation, for example, where you do need some support, there are grants available, RNIB ourselves, other organizations such as Individual Technology Solutions, amongst others, and local councils are also available for discussion. Do give the RNIB a call. Our colleagues are really helpful in that realm. The council do have a duty of care, but we know the situation out there, guys. We understand that even councils are not in a great position. So I'm going to lead off to managing expectations, and that goes with finance as well. Keep an open mind. There's a plethora of technology, but knowing we've talked about artificial intelligence, it's an infant. So it is literally only 5-6 years old. You know, we've got smart speakers, Google Home, all the rest of it, the A lady, who I won't say because she'll start talking to me, but all of this stuff is pretty young. But what's exciting about that is, whilst people naturally want to talk to technology, again, it might not be the right situation to do it. It might not be the right application to use. So always think about, a really good consideration I tell people is the weakest link in any chain. So the weakest link could be being outside in a situation where you're trying to do your banking, and it might not be the right thing to do to try and talk to a piece of technology. Whereas myself, the strongest part is my hands. With a headphone or an accessory or a keyboard, I'll totally black out my screen. And you know what, I say this to everyone I teach, it's actually, I'm safer doing my banking than sighted people, because they can't see my screen and they can't hear my screen. So it's knowing that what situation you're presented with has the right solution of tools and what knowledge or skills you need to get there. And that's where we'll bring it all together. So yeah, just I hope that helps in terms of general considerations. I'll bring it back to you, Chris, and then we'll answer some questions.
Great, thank you, Devinder.
Pleasure.
Superb. So I'm going to ask all speakers to come back on for me, please. We're going to answer your questions. There's been a lot of questions on the chat. So I am going to kind of circulate a few questions around and bear with. Cool. So there's been a lot of questions around costs, and I think Devinder, you covered that exceptionally well there. So one of the things about cost, and again, I'm going to bring two people in this point of view, Devinder and Alex, from our free services point of view at AbilityNet, and Devinder, obviously RNIB offering the same service. We, I'm sure RNIB are the same, we as an organization get a lot of questions around, you know, what can I get to help me with vision? What can I get to help me with day-to-day life? But I don't have that much income. I'm going to start with you, Devinder, being the guest first of all.
Appreciate it. Cheers, Chris.
Is there any particular grants out there or anything you suggest to people who might need that support or an offer different solution? You know, Kartik's touched on the great work about the glasses, about Envision. There are obviously other options out there too, so we've got to balance it off a little bit. From your point of view, what do you suggest, recommend to clients almost?
Okay, it's a great question. So first thing I would say to people is, depending on where you are on your journey of sight loss, if you're recently diagnosed, do make sure you've gone through, maybe spoken to an ECLO, a rehabilitation officer, maybe gone down the certificate of vision impairment, because once you're registered, that's when the door and windows, whatever analogies you wish, it opens up to you. Because the system will basically ask, do you have or do you meet this need? And if you don't have a CVI, that can be a challenge. So that's the first point to do. If you have all that, the next question will, as I mentioned, I always go up the ladder. I would probably say, go to your council, and it can be a challenge, and say, right, under the, your duty of care to me, under reasonable adjustments, quality to my life, I have identified X product that gives me this quality, communication, reduces isolation, explain the benefit to your life. And again, if the door closes, that's when I would suggest come to us. Our teams are really knowledgeable. Yes, we have a technology grant. Yes, we work with other organizations and charities. And what I'd suggest is they will also be able to do your welfare, well-being, financial assessments. And, this can range anything from tax benefit through to other assessments, and that bring all this financial together that actually go towards helping you to buy the technology. I mean, I've had a conversation with colleagues in the sector where if people know the Motability scheme, they actually would say, well, were they using a point of their benefit to help them get around? Well, then what we could do is have the same discussion and say, well, maybe we can consider, rather than using it as part of that money, maybe I know cost of living has gone up and I appreciate that totally, is there a percentage of that we could use as well as to fund some of the technology that gives you value? So there are many different ways to come at this situation.
Great. Okay, fantastic. Alex, I'm going to come back to, just keep it very brief, please, Alex, though. In regards to what do you suggest to people in your role with AbilityNet?
So my view, thanks, Chris, my view is always have a look at technology that you think is going to benefit you. I can make some recommendations, then we'll work out how to get the money to fund it. There are a number of organisations around the country that can help with funding. Funding needs to be seen as a long-term project, but the first thing I suggest is always trying to find what actually works for you. There's no good in trying to find funding and then going, oh, I got the funding, now what works for me? Go out and try and find what works for you, and with the RNIB's help and with our help, we can help identify what's going to be really useful for you.
Very much so. It's all about collaboration. That's really key in this day and age.
Yeah.
You know, charities collaborate, organizations collaborate, so we can help the digital exclusion, and get everyone using get as many folks using technologies as we can, to the best. I'm going to come to yourself, Gus, in a minute, Kartik. What I would say is that anyone has questions, can I ask you kindly to put them into the Q&A section? Any questions that do go unanswered as live, we'll certainly put them up on the website in the next few days with a link, so you've got access to that. Kartik, I'm going to focus this question around education, because there has been quite a lot of questions in education. I'm going to ask you two questions in one. So Shan, Edwards and Williams asked, are there any case studies of pupils using Envision in schools, universities to read whiteboards, etc.? And then Victoria Morris also asked, are or will the Envision glasses be available through DSA?
So I can answer the first question because I think I can, I understand. I don't understand what exactly does DSA mean. So if maybe you can help me out with the abbreviation.
It's a grant, Disabled Student Assessment Grants for universities.
All right, so I'll come to that second part later on. I think the first thing is, so we don't have like official case studies, or public case studies, but then there are a lot of students who use the Envision glasses to read what's on a screen, what's on a whiteboard as well. And currently, we're actually doing pilots with people from the Duke University, so students from the Duke University in the USA who are using the glasses, with the classrooms and things like that. And we also have other, students who use the glasses quite regularly. That is because, one, the glasses is really good at reading pretty much any printed surface. So you can go ahead and read, text that's on an iPad, for example, or on a computer screen. You can also go ahead and read handwriting with the glasses. So the glasses are capable of reading not just not just handwritten stuff, can also read cursive handwriting as well. So that helps a lot when you want to read on a whiteboard. So essentially speaking, there are a lot of students who are using the glasses right now, and since the glasses are capable of reading pretty much text in any format, be it printed text, be it digital text, be it handwritten text, it's very versatile when it comes to when it comes to being used within classrooms. For this particular question about the DSA, I would, I think what would be best is if you can reach out to us, and then we can put you in touch with our distributor, Sight and Sound in the UK, and they definitely will have more information on how to go ahead and apply for this grant if the Envision glasses are eligible for this grant. Because I'm not very sure about the specifics in the UK, but do get in touch with Envision. We'll put you in touch with our distributor, and then they can definitely help you answer this question, much better than what I can. Yeah.
Great, thank you, Kartik. So time has really caught up with us. I cannot believe where this hour has gone. So a huge thank you to Devinder, Kartik, Alex, and of course, Adi on the video. There are questions left over and we'll try and answer online the next few days, and you'll receive an email with the link to access them. Finally, just a bit of information that may be of interest to you. We are running online training sessions on digital accessibility, and you can find it more on our website at abilitynet.org.uk/training. We have a special code just for you to use on our training courses for webinar attendees today, as I say. And if you use the code AbilityNet webinar 10 to save 10% on all of our courses. And we do have 3 great courses coming up. The first being the Removing Your Diversity Barriers on Wednesday, the 29th. That's tomorrow at 1 p.m. BST. Then next Wednesday, the 6th of July, is Inclusive Recruitment at 10 a.m. British Standard Time, British Summer Time even, and Accessible Mobile Development the following Wednesday, Wednesday 13th of July at 1 p.m. BST time again. You can also sign up to our e-newsletter for the latest announcements about digital accessibility. And we'll also have a suite of accessibility services to suit all types of organizations. And finally, as I say, don't forget about our next webinars, which you can access at abilitynet.org.uk/webinar. As I touched on briefly, join us on the 19th of July, Tuesday, 19th of July, for inclusive and accessible learning and working in a post-COVID world with a speaker from the University of Greenwich. So it just takes me to thank Kartik, Devinder, Alex, and Adi, to Denise at McClure Text, along with Kelly, Donna, and Louise for their support today too, and everyone who's joined us. But please do complete the feedback form. You'll be directed to just when we end today's meeting. Any feedback is always appreciated, and we will be in touch with you soon. So thanks again, and have a lovely afternoon.